Welcome! Today, we're diving into an incredible mechanism, our body's own built-in natural brake system for stopping cancer. Let's explore how it works and maybe more importantly, what happens when it fails. Everything really starts with this one question, and it gets right to the heart of the problem. Because, just like a car with no brakes hurtling down a hill, a cell that can't stop growing is a surefire recipe for disaster. So, to really get what goes wrong in cancer, we first have to understand how things work when they're going right. And it all comes down to this really delicate balance between two opposing forces. And that balance relies on two key players. On one side, we have the accelerator, a molecule called PGE2, which is part of the prostaglandin family. It's involved in things like inflammation, and its job is to give the go signal for cells to grow and divide. And on the other side, we have the brake, an enzyme called 15-PGDH, whose entire job is to hunt down and neutralize that accelerator, telling the cell, okay, stop, that's enough. Think of it like a perfectly level seesaw. The accelerator pushes down on one side, and the brake pushes back on the other. This dynamic equilibrium makes sure our tissues repair themselves and grow only as much as they need to, keeping everything orderly and functional in our bodies. But what happens when that seesaw gets stuck, tilted dangerously to one side? Well, researchers studying non-small cell lung cancer noticed something really alarming, a malfunction that has since been found in other types of tumors too. Scientists already knew that in these tumors, the gas pedal was basically floored, with huge levels of PGE2. So the logical question was, if the accelerator is out of control, why isn't the brake kicking in? Where'd the guardian go? To answer that, they analyzed tissue samples from 19 patients, taking a piece from the tumor and a piece from the healthy tissue right next to it. And the result, which you can see in this chart, was just dramatic. Take a look at the bar on the left. That represents the normal level of the brake in healthy tissue. Now look at the bar on the right, from the tumor tissue. The enzyme level has basically collapsed. And this wasn't just a fluke. The finding was shockingly consistent. In absolutely every single one of the 19 tumors they analyzed, without a single exception, the level of the 15-PGDH brake was significantly lower than in the matching healthy tissue. And the scale of the problem is even more striking. For the majority of the tumors, we're talking 61% of cases, the brake wasn't just weakened, it was practically gone, with a decrease of at least tenfold. So just imagine our seesaw again. The accelerator is pushing down with all its might, and the brake has almost completely vanished. This brings us to a really critical question. We've seen a clear correlation. Where there's cancer, the brake is missing. But which came first? Did the brake's disappearance allow the cancer to grow, or did the cancer grow first and then destroy the brake? It's the classic chicken and egg problem, the fundamental difference between cause and effect. To prove which was causing which, the researchers moved into the lab, where they designed this really elegant experiment to get a definitive answer. They started with human lung cancer cells where they already knew the brake was almost non-existent. Then they injected them into specially bred lab mice that had weakened immune systems, which would allow the tumors to grow. The experiment was beautifully simple. The mice were split into two groups. The control group got the cancer cells exactly as they were, broken brake and all. But the test group, they got the same cells, but with one crucial change. The researchers fixed the brake by artificially boosting the production of 15-PDH inside those cells. Then they just had to wait and see what happened. The results were crystal clear, no ambiguity at all. In the control group, where the brake was broken, the tumors grew normally, just as you'd expect. But in the test group, where the brake had been repaired, tumor growth slowed down dramatically. This was the proof they needed. The loss of the 15-PGDH enzyme isn't just a side effect of cancer, it's a causal factor. The disappearance of this natural brake is one of the key events that allows tumors to grow completely out of control. So this enzyme, 15-PDGH, isn't just some random component in the cell. It plays an active and incredibly important role in protecting us, a role that gives it a very special title in cancer biology. But how exactly does this brake stop tumors? Well, this is where a fascinating mechanism comes into play. When the levels of 15-PGDH are restored, the enzyme activates a process called apoptosis. This is basically the cell's self-destruct program. So by fixing the brake, the cancer cells are effectively given the order to commit suicide. And that behavior, actively stopping uncontrolled growth and triggering the death of abnormal cells, is the textbook definition of a tumor suppressor. So 15-PGDH is a natural guardian, a part of our body's own innate defense system against cancer. Okay, let's just recap. We've seen that our cells use an accelerator and brake system to control growth. We've learned that in many types of cancer, this brake is almost always broken, leading to unchecked growth. And most importantly, we've seen clear proof that fixing this brake actively stops tumor growth, confirming that 15-PDDH is a natural tumor suppressor. So all of this leaves us with a huge and really hopeful question. Now that we've identified this vulnerability in cancer, the next great challenge is, how can we find a way to repair this natural brake directly in patients? That's the step that could turn a fundamental discovery into a brand new weapon in the fight against cancer.